Alright, so today we're going to replace the glass on a unibody MacBook Pro, an A1278 model. And I said that I didn't want to do videos of how to do the simpler repairs, but a lot of the time when I was looking for videos on how to do this a long time ago, all of the videos that are out there are just complete fucking horseshit. I mean, people are just going, and then you just see the video just gets edited, and it's like, and the glass is already like halfway out, and then they just put the new glass in, and it's like, and it's just like it just came out just so easily. No effort involved, no fuck-ups, no misery, and that is just complete and utter fucking bullshit to any technician who has ever watched that video and tried to repeat it upon working on a machine. So I am not going to edit this video. This is actually broken. This has never been fucked with before, and this is reality. This is what people are actually going to bring you to fix. So if you'd like to see how to do this with some sense of reality, with some sense of realism, with some sense of I'm not working on a machine that I threw alcohol in and loosened the adhesive on before doing the video, or with no edits, please do continue watching. So the first thing that's important are having the right tools. So I got this little spudger. You can find tons of them on the internet, and I got this ďorszák art supply store spatula. And the first thing I do before I start any of this is take my 99% alcohol and clean all of the old bullshit adhesive off of my tools, because if you have adhesive on them from the prior repair, it will make it more of a pain in the ass to get around this thing. Now, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the computer off. I'm going to explain that shortly. Now the third thing is I don't use a heat gun for this, by the way. I use a ɁHACO FR801. It's my rework station, and it also does a good job of this. See, I have these thin tips here, and this is an important reason to why I like having the thin tips. The good thing about the thin tips is that as I go around here, I can go really close and boil the shit out of this black border where the adhesive is without heating up this rubber trim. See, on the side here, let me move this thing up so you can see, you have this rubber trim. And unlike on the iPad where you can heat the living fuck out of that and not have to care, on here, if you heat that thing even the tiniest bit, it will start to get shiny. And once it gets shiny, you're screwed, because then it's going to start melting and it's not going to go back into place right. And once it starts getting shiny and looking funny, it's, you're going to have a story to tell your customer as to why it looks like that. Particularly if you're dealing with somebody who has OCD, or somebody that's just looking for a reason not to pay. So using an iron like this just kicks the shit out of using a heat gun a lot of the time. It gives me the freedom to have ridiculous amount of heat right up on here, and I don't really have to care, because I'm not going to burn the screen, and I'm not going to burn the black rubber trim. So, fuck using a heat gun. Now, I'm just going to keep going around here for a while. I'm very patient with my heat. For those who like to ask what setting I'm using, I'm on a ďháco FR801. I'm on 6.5 with air pressure at 10. Yep, analog rework station. No temperature monitoring here. No fancy shit. Now the reason I keep the computer on while I do this is because I want to see if the LCD gets discolored. As soon as you see the LCD get discolored, you know that you should stop applying heat. So that is my temperature sensor. You don't want to apply too much heat, because if you apply too much heat, the LCD will become malformed and you'll start seeing yellow and brownish blotches. And those yellow and brownish blotches will never go away. Another disadvantage of the heat gun is when you're going down here, it is possible with a heat gun. You got to be pretty careless to do this, but if you're watching this video, this is probably your first time, so it is likely that you'll be careless. And you can burn the keys off of the keyboard. So here, I could hold my hand here all day. It's not even going to get warm, because this gun is so fucking accurate. Now the second thing that I do is I put a little bit of alcohol in this little cap here. And I dip my tool into it. Now, starting from a corner, I do something like this. my idea is to try to get under this thing as best as I can. And just push a little. Now I don't want to go too far, because you can see this one is cracked in the corner. By the way, here's for realism. When you usually see these videos, this is not actually cracked. There's one tiny little fracture over there. This thing's got crack, 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 crack. So this is what, again, what people are actually going to bring you. Now, I'm going to move it in there, and I'm going to go back to my alcohol, and I'm going to clean this thing again as I go. If you have adhesive on there, you're going to notice that it gets harder and harder as you go, and it's getting harder and harder as you go because the glass is sticking to the old adhesive. So now I'm going to go a little bit around the rubber trim and get some alcohol in there, like so. It's going to make it easier for when I get this tool under there. I'm going to go under, again, and I'm going to slide this a little up. And this is just a... Now, this corner is cracked as shit. Now, what I should have done is start from this corner because it's not cracked, but I don't want to do it with the machine oriented this way, and I'm also not a lefty, and I'm so bad at using my left hand that it's actually worth it to start on the cracked corner, as long as I don't have to start from the left corner. Right. Now, the idea here is to get underneath the adhesive and underneath the glass. It's not to chip away at it. If you do this, like chip, 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 you're going to drive yourself out of your fucking mind. What you want to do here is try to get underneath this glass and adhesive so that you simply slide the entire way through. And it's sometimes easier said than done. Like right now, for example. Now, even though I'm chipping the hell out of this as I go, I want to make sure that I stay underneath that adhesive. Because as long as I stay underneath that adhesive, this is not going to turn into a nightmare or a clusterfuck. Okay. Now at this point, my little tool here is pretty well filled with gunk. And I know that the feeling to just continue going ahead is going to be strong for you, as it is for me, because you want to get this shit over with. You don't want to be picking little pieces of glass out of a fucking frame all day. But it's important to stay disciplined and to keep cleaning this tool. Right now I'm actually using the tip of the heat gun to heat the adhesive so that I can get it off easier with the wipe and the alcohol. Because it'll make your life easier and it'll make you less likely to make a mistake. So, just clean. Okay. Always try to be under the adhesive, not under the glass. Because no matter how cracked this shit is, if you get under the adhesive, you win. Sometimes if you're lucky, you can even peel large pieces off by the adhesive. But I'm not that lucky this time. Even though I probably could go through this entire thing without having to clean this thing, I'm cleaning it again because I want to set a good example for you. Little shards of glass, shards of glass. Now, I've always been a proponent of using metal tools over plastic. I don't believe that metal tools scratch or break devices. I believe that idiots scratch and break devices. But at the same time, I am going around a webcam here, and since I have a brain, I am going to try to be cognizant of the fact that when I get here, I'm going around the USB hub or a controller for the webcam, so I'm not going to touch it with the computer being on. That would be a stupid thing to do. So when you get over here, be careful that if you're using a metal tool, you don't touch this shit. Because if you touch it, things will not work, or things will spark in your face, and you will most likely wind up with a non-profitable repair when you have to replace a bunch of shit that you broke. Now, but yeah, I love metal tools. I use them for everything. I hate plastic tools. And I hate the people who go on and on about how you're irresponsible, you're unprofessional, you use tools that scratch shit. I have had more people who use plastic tools who are complete fucking idiots, break or scratch or destroy devices than people that use metal tools and know what the fuck they're doing. So, metal. Works. Love it. We'll continue using it. Now, this is a 2011 or 2012 model that we have here. So, there's nothing beyond here. But if you have a 2008, 2009, or 2010 model, there will be a little Bluetooth thing over here, so you'll have to keep caring. I know I don't have to care because I have nothing else here to worry about. So I can gladly shove my metal tool anywhere around this area without having to care. Another thing that's not fun about using heat to open computers, by the way, you kind of smell what the owner of the computer smells like, because people who don't clean themselves, they often leave their residue on the laptop, and then when you heat it, that residue then comes off into the room. So just be really thankful that we're not at a point in technology yet where you can smell what I just smelled, because it's pretty fucking nasty. So about that realism, I'm not wearing goggles and a piece of glass just flew off into my eye. You probably just saw that little glass go like that. Yep, definitely never happens in Powerbook Medics YouTube videos. That definitely don't happen in anybody else's YouTube videos. But it happens in mine. Lucky me. Lucky me. Alright, keep going along this broken shit here. Sometimes different tools will help. Like, for example, this is a great tool for the fact that it's straight all the way. It's long. Whereas this little spatula is good because it's just so ridiculously thin. Alright, clean it. Yeah. If I get stuck on a particular spot or it's annoying me, I just switch the tool. And then it no longer annoys me. Let's go too soon. Now there's also another crack going right down here. I don't want to stop. I want to try to take this off in one piece as often as possible. So I'm going to go back in there, move my tool a little bit to the right, and so much for that happened. But let's see how far we can go here. Let's see. Garbage. Also, the cool part about using these tools instead of prying from the side is that my rubber trim looks fucking immaculate. Clean, very nice, and I'm going to zoom in on that in a few. The cool thing about this tool versus the other one is the big handle and the fact that it's thinner. It gives me some leverage. So I like to use this thing when I'm going through right here and the glass is on, but if the glass is taken off, I like using this to just carve under what's left. And as you can see, I'm not taking it off and leaving the black tape. I'm making sure that I'm under the black tape at all times. So on every piece of glass that I take off, you see the adhesive there. You don't want the adhesive to be stuck here, because then you have to remove the adhesive, which is a pain in the ass. Or even worse, you'll be one of those douchebags that leaves the adhesive on so that the glass winds up falling off 2 or 3 months from now. You may have read, reviews for your competitors, or dare I say it, even for yourself, where people go, the glass fell off in 2 or 3 months. That's usually a function of using the wrong adhesive or keeping the old adhesive on. You always want to get as much of that old adhesive off as humanly possible. This should be so fucking smooth and perfect and nice. It shouldn't be bumpy and, you know, filled with little gaps and shit. You know, one thing that also helps, by the way, is heating the spatula as you go around. So I'm putting my spatula in right in front of my hackle right now to heat it up. And I go over here. I'm not touching the LCD. I'm purposely bending it away from the LCD. But yeah, it really does get under that annoying adhesive. By the way, before you ask what type of tool this is a ďmaecht, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing this, ďmaecht spatula. You can go buy it online at the ďmaecht art supply store. They used to not have an online store. I used to have to physically walk there every time I needed these, but you can buy them online. This is better than almost any tool you're going to buy on eBay for opening. You're going to find that you use it for almost everything. They're addictive for Apple repair. That's the old adhesive boiling off of the spatula. And that's now the old adhesive boiling off of the Macbook. Okay, it's all off. Now, the next thing that I like to do is make sure that I have all the adhesive off of here. I would feel around with my thumb. And there's also going to be little stray pieces of glass because we just fixed the device that had broken glass. I like to use a wipe to... I'm not going to actually touch the screen. I'm just kind of whipping it around the screen to try to get rid of any little bits of glass that are there. But I don't want to wipe it, because if I wipe it, if I touch the screen and I do this, the piece of glass, what do you think it's going to do? It's going to scratch the fucking screen. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing something like this. I'm going to blow it away before I go with the compressed air. And then there's a little space here, spot here, where I'm going to take the camera down a little so you can see. Alright, so there's a little spot right over here, which I don't know if it'll even show up on here. Here you go. Where the adhesive from the glass and this tool touch the LCD. Now, I'm human. And unlike people who have hyper ridiculous editing in their videos, I'm not afraid to admit it. So here's what we're going to do to fix that. Now the good thing about the adhesive is that it's going to get all over your tool to the point where your tool is not even going to be able to directly scratch that. So if I feel like I'm at a point where my tool may touch the LCD, I like to know that my tool has been, completely covered in adhesive to the point where it cannot leave a scratch. And luckily that is the case here, because as you can see, I'm using these clean room vinyl wipers right now, not paper towels, by the way. When I'm done with this, you're going to see that there's absolutely no mark on there. No scratches, no nonsense, no nothing. So yep, so it all went away. You can see my LED lighting on the ceiling over here reflecting, but now let's go around and do the rubber trim. Now see what the rubber trim looks like here? See if I can get this to focus better. See, I haven't burnt it in any section. And that's what you're going for, and that's why I like using this thin Haco instead of the heat gun. And you can also see that the wire here is not perforated anywhere like it is if you use a pointy tool. If you use a pointy tool and you pick from the side, very often you're going to pick at this wire, even though this wire is in a groove, and then you're not going to have a webcam, or you're not going to have Bluetooth if you have one of the older models, and that's not good. So, see, no black adhesive. Now I'm just going to go around this one more time with the compressed air up front to get rid of this shit. I'm doing construction right now, so you're going to hear some of that in the background as I walk up there.
You weighed about at least 600-700 pounds. Actually, especially for a commercial freezer.
You never keep the air compressor on. What the fuck is that piece of shit?
Piece of shit. Screen.
Does that use an LED backlit screen?
One way to find out.
Does that use an incandescent backlit screen? Wait. Oh, what's that? Oh, never mind, that's Wi-Fi. I'm being an idiot. Being an idiot.
Yeah, man. Wait, the air compressor's out again? I just said it. No, I was said yesterday.
You can't keep that on overnight.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Annoying, I have a sinus infection.
What's that?
No, my ears are stuffed and it's still annoying. You actually go deaf. That's a bump.
I know. I figured it was about
$280?
200.
This is the worthless computer.
Oh, fuck off.
That's a worthless computer.
I was like $220 and I'll do it in 10 minutes. He's like, oh, come on. You just sold me on that. I was like, that's right. Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, 220 or 200?
200.
You lowered it for him.
Yeah.
How Christian of you? Only charge 20 over retail. Is this thing still filming? It is still filming. I gotta edit it out.
Tough question.
Alright, so now we're going to use the air compressor to blow some of this crap out of here. Much to the behest of my coworker sitting next to me who's going to have the crap blown on him. I'm sorry, Steve. If there's any piece of glass sitting on here, like this, you see a little piece of shit that's trying to hide over there? Watch this, watch this. Yeah, that's right, you're good. You're good. It's not going to sit right, it's going to crack easier next time. You really don't want to deal with people coming back and telling you that it cracked because of you. You want to have the confidence of telling them to leave if they say it cracked again because of you. Because you knew that you just got rid of all of that shit the first time. So, if you're not replacing the LCD, you're going to have this foam around it because this foam is on the original. And this foam is like a magnet for little bits of glass that will fall out and just sit behind the screen after you're done closing it. So blow the foam out. Also, really have to buy a tripod that's not a piece of shit. Use a good adhesive. We sell this for about 20 bucks. I mean, you can buy it online as well. There's some good 3M Core Series adhesive. Don't use double-sided tape from Home Depot. Please don't use super glue. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and get a tripod so I can do this some justice. Be right back. These are the most unprofessional videos on YouTube. My channel has 350,000 views. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Thanks,
this is the adhesive. Now, good glass is going to come with its own adhesive. I don't even care if you bought good glass, you should still put the adhesive on. It's just
Good, Junior?
good. Right thing to do. You don't want this to fall off. You never want to see this customer again. You want to see them again if they have a problem with another computer, not with the glass falling off the computer you fixed with them a month ago. So the glass that I usually use has its own very good pre-cut adhesive on it. I still put this on because it's incredibly thin. Won't add to the heft of it. And this does a good job. Where does this go? He always been under that table. Sorry, never mind the construction. It's... Now you push it on like this, make sure it's on there, because you could use the strongest adhesive in the world. If it's not actually bonded to the back cover, it's not gonna do jack shit. So use your nail all around, push, push, push. And then take it off. You don't need an X-Acto knife to do this. I'm just using it because I just cut my nails and they're not sharp anymore. I'm also going to use a thinner strip of adhesive right along the top, right along where the webcam is. Fucking air compressor. Thing goes on at the worst possible time. Okay. This is not moving anywhere. Also, make sure that you don't cover the flash with adhesive, or the camera. These should be obvious, but once you become an employer, you will find out that what is obvious to you is not always obvious to the people that you're paying. Now, this is a great time to discuss the differences in the glass that you'll buy online. Here is good glass. It's good, it's original. It has this protective covering adheres to it, just like the screen protector that's on an perfectly new iPad screen. This is good. This is what you pay for. This here is dog shit. This is garbage used, taken off of some fucked up computer that was thrown in the garbage probably. There's a protector on the front, but there isn't jack shit on the back but this nasty looking piece of paper and the old crummy adhesive with little bits of crumbs on it. But this is what this customer gave me to put on here, and who am I to insult their wishes? So I will be putting this on, unfortunately, even after I've done such a perfect job. But what you should go for, and what you should ask for, and what you should look for, is something that looks like this when you're going to do your own repair. It's a $1,200 computer. Like, seriously, you're not going to spend the extra $5 to get this instead of this horse shit. But I digress. Good shit. You'll also notice, and probably not on this camera but in person, that on the good glass the borders are actually black, where on this the coloring of the border is kind of gray, and it's something that you can tell if you've gotten used to it over a period of time. Yeah. Now when I'm putting the glass on, I turn the computer off. This way you can see any of the dust or crap that pops up. You're not going to see that with the light on. Now, it doesn't matter how much dust is on here, that's almost not going to matter just because of the sheer, oh my god, amount of shit that is on this used bullshit glass that I was given. So I'm going to try to be a nice guy. I'm going to do my best to clean this here, even though this is a fairly hopeless practice. If this sticker is familiar to you, whatever this is, just tell these people that they can go fuck themselves for selling this garbage. Anyway, I'm gonna try and clean this as best as I can. You can see that there's even fun. Look at this. There's like packing material, little bits of cardboard, and here it's just bullshit. Just like, if you're gonna do this prepare, just please, for the love of God, spend the extra $5 to get the thing that's not the lowest price on eBay. All right. Price is everything these days, I suppose. So when trying to wipe any sort of mark that you see on the LCD off, as tempting as it is to use Windex or to use a cleaner of some kind, it's often best if you use nothing at all. The only time I do is if there's obviously adhesive or something stuck somewhere. But even then, I try to just use your nail with a wipe. Your nail, you may think is going to scratch it, but through a wipe, it really isn't. And it's better to try and get rid of the junk through a use of a dry cloth than through a wet one, because the wet cloth is going to leave even more residue, and then that residue is going to attract more gunk, which you're going to try to get off using more cleaner, and you're going to get to this point where instead of having an LCD that looks like a mirror, you're going to have an LCD that looks like a, something like a 30-year-old car window. So do your best to do the job that you can without using any sort of liquid. Now I have a perfectly looking setup here. I can put this on, and as soon as I put this on and take this cover off, I'm probably going to cry at the amount of blemishes on this glass, but what can you do? Now when it's done, you're going to push along the border, like so, to get it to stick, all the way along. When you shake this back and forth, that webcam should not be able to move. I should be able to tap and do this all